Gomez and company welcome former SU quarterback Eric Dungey thanks to Liverpool Pool and Spa on the flagship station of SU football, TK99 and TK105.
Eric Dungey joining us live from Oregon this morning. Eric, highlight of your weekend, other than football, of course. We'll talk about that in a bit. But other than that, what'd you do this weekend?
Honestly, it's been a lot of it's like Groundhog's Day. Can't do much, so I went on a nice little walk this weekend with my dog and my wife. So That was the highlight of my weekend, and hopefully playing some golf in the next 2 or 3 weeks once I heal up.
Did they give you the green light to drive yet?
Not yet. I have an appointment on Wednesday, so I'll figure that out then. So we're very excited and eager for that.
Oh, good. Just everything's healing up, though. Just baby steps. That's all. A little at a time. You want it back immediately, but it takes time, right?
Yep, step by step. So healing up, and I'll start getting a little bit better. And how was your guys' weekend?
Good. It was a couple of live performances this week, a couple of shows that I went to. It was Lisa's birthday on Friday.
Oh, happy belated.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll celebrate in grand fashion tomorrow for that. Yeah. But nonetheless, Eric, well, on to the game. Unfortunately, talking about a loss this morning for the Orange. And we just talked to Don McPherson a bit ago, and he thought as well that the whole game they were listless. Really, the team unable to get anything going on the ground as far as running. And then, obviously, the last couple plays of the game is what everybody will focus on. But everything leading up to that point is something that the coaches will be looking at all day, all week long here.
Yeah, it's a bit shocking. And Don is entirely right. I mean, you rush for 26 total yards. It's tough to really establish anything. I mean, Kyle McCord still had a really solid day throwing. He had 2 errors. I mean, one was just a miscommunication. It looked like with Dan Villari, that pick 6. I don't know if he thought Dan was going to come out a little more. Dan just didn't even get his head around. But that's tough, as you see. Anytime you get an interception, not only an interception, but a pick 6, it really can take the air out of the game. And Stanford just capitalized on all the turnovers, and they made the plays and they needed to make the plays. I think Ashton Daniels did a solid job of extending plays with his feet, and Syracuse had to keep him accounted for. But anytime you really can't get the run game going, then it's going to be tough for you. Even if you have a quarterback throwing for 300 plus yards, got to get give him some help. But really, there are some positives to take away from this. Trevor Pena, I mean, what a day. Yeah, Rondé was pretty quiet, but 10 catches for Trevor and over 100 yards. Amari Hatcher, he had some spotlight moments there. So you see these guys that are able to make these plays, but we got to make sure that we're doing everything and we're functioning, on all cylinders, and that includes the ground and pound, and that starts up front, making sure that they're giving those guys, LeQuint, Kyle, whoever it may be, some lanes just to run the ball and take some of that pressure off of Kyle's arm. You need to give him some time. And when a team knows that you're not going to be able to run the ball, they're just going to pin their ears back and put some pressure on you and play solid coverage in the back and just try to get after the quarterback. But even with that, I think Kyle did a solid job, and unfortunately, we just ended up a little short.
Mm-hmm. Well, SG was a 9-point favorite. Did that get in your head? I mean, that might get in my head. That's a lot of pressure. Like this will be easy. You're supposed to win.
Yeah, and Vegas is somehow always right, but obviously they were wrong in this sense. I think it really does come down to the pick 6 there, and then the costly interception. With a miscommunication on that little running back wheel. You see what turnovers can do. And then Stanford also, 4th down, 2 for 2. But other than that, I mean, it was relatively comparable stats throughout the team stats and everything else. And obviously Kyle dominated with the passing yards. It was just, when you're not able to establish, the run game, it's really going to change things up for you. And you don't need to run for 200, 300 yards. You just need to at least give the defense something to look for. And unfortunately, we just were playing catch up after that standpoint. And then Stanford made the plays when they needed to. And the end of the game could have gone a lot better. We just needed one little defensive stand there. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get that.
Eric, when you're in those situations like Kyle, the pick 6. And in hindsight, when you watch it on video, it's like, man, what did, even said in this post game, you just kind of know it. And I'm always amazed at high level quarterbacks in D1 or NFL, how quickly decisions have to be made within a split second. But has that happened to you? That you realize right at the moment, almost in slow motion, it's like when you're locking your keys in your own car, where like you're slamming the door and you're at the same time you're going, no. Like at the corner of your eye, you see that guy that you didn't see a half a second before that. Is that kind of what some of those moments are like?
Oh, definitely. I think the slow motion is a perfect way to describe it. I mean, he probably just felt the ball, and it's the same way. I think with him, he was expecting, like I said, it looked like there was some miscommunication between him and Dan, and he probably saw Dan's back of the helmet for too long. He's like, turn around, turn around, turn around. And then once he realized that Dan wasn't going to, come out of that break, he was like, oh, no. And then, I mean, it was just, there was nobody between him and then I think he had some offensive linemen trying to chase down a safety to make that play, and unfortunately it just was not going to happen. But you know what? He's taking ownership of it, and the undefeated season is not there, but there's still a lot of things that we can accomplish, and this is that first speed bump in the season. So we got a good tune-up game this week against Holy Cross, and it's time to bounce back. And then you got to get the winning train rolling again. Because again, a lot of potential here in the season. This one hurts, but it doesn't mean that it's over. So obviously we want to win all these league games, but we'll just see how the team responds from here.
Eric, have a great week. I hope Wednesday goes well. I hope when we talk to you Friday, you're driving. And that's baby steps. That's good. And then we'll get caught up, and then we'll talk about Holy Cross and about what should be a big game for the offense and the team. But have a great week, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
Thanks, guys.